and just wanted to talk to you guys about what we're doing and how we can help you guys and how you guys are helping the environment.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I was really stoked to partner and just to coordinate with you guys because the folks at Ventana basically introduced me to your Instagram account, and then from there I just started to follow the initiatives and the campaigns that you were running around environment, and not only the great things that you're doing with the amazing guests that you had on. So it's been really just great to meet you guys and to be a part of what you guys are trying to build and achieve. Well, I think it's really important to work with folks like you guys, not only because you're the young generation and that's kind of where change needs to happen anyway, but I think it's important that when you have a platform to be able to inform people of the unique or the problem-solving solutions that folks are coming up with to achieve kind of the overall mission that you guys have. I've spoken to a lot of people about greenwashing and circular economies and what it means to be sustainable, and I think a lot of big brands have kind of lost sight of that. And I think it's been up to small businesses, entrepreneurs, and folks like yourself that are out there that need to hold these folks accountable. You know what I mean? And that's keeping all that in mind. You're telling your consumers, you're telling your age group that we're smarter than you think we are. Like, we want to know where these products are being made, how they're being made, and what happens when they hit the environment. And so I think that's so commendable, and I think you guys, as you just get more popular, your platform and stance and voice is just going to get much louder. So to be able to showcase my sunglasses on your show at this point when you guys have already made great traction, I think is an incredible opportunity I think for all of us. So that's kind of how I'm feeling about this.
Yeah, and as well as the new sunglass company, we also want to talk a little bit about what you were doing before. I think it was Humps.
Humps, yeah. So I worked for I co-launched a company. It was Cheap Affordable Sunglasses, which did really well. Our major competitor was Blenders, and we launched that in Bali. The experience that I learned through that is that a lot of people were questioning the single plastic use that we were making the products out of, and that was a solution that I always been wanting to solve when I was at the company. So I decided to move in a different direction, and they're still doing great, and they have a great one-for-one program. But I basically wanted to leverage my network. I was working for the U.S. government for 10 years. So I was working in Africa, the Middle East, and Asia, doing things from agriculture value chains to biodiversity measures to counter-violence extremism and radicalization. So I wanted to be able to take my vast network and being able to apply it to something I really believed in. And the one thing that I noticed throughout all of my travels and all my my work was there was one common denominator that was pissing me off. It was plastic. Right? It was everywhere. There was community. They call them landfill communities. From Bali to Kenya and the Philippines, they live in this crap, right? And not only are they living in it, they're breathing in it, they're taking it all in. And so then and there, I was like, if I ever figure out a way to contribute in some small way, this is what I'm going to focus on. And so when people are asking us questions about the single-use plastics with the other company, I was like, that's it. This is it. This is how I'm gonna make a change and a difference.
So how did you start with
this idea?
Yeah.
The idea came from I had been doing research, and a lot of my competitors have been saying that they were using ocean plastic and biodegradable materials, and so I wanted to figure out the extent that they were using it. And what my research was finding is that they were using the minimum amount, and I wanted to figure out a way to use as much amount as possible for sustainable materials to make them that much better for the environment. So it's taken me over a year and a half now to really fine tune and hone in on what that production process that would be, not only in the materials that that they're made of, but the impact the production process has too, like the CO2 emissions, right? A lot of the manufacturing are releasing a lot of emissions in the air while they're making the product. So we wanted to make sure that it was all encompassing kind of sustainable theme in production. So that's kind of like the way that we kind of approached it. Keep making the difference. It's a great question, because each little battle that I have each day, it seems to make a difference, even if it's not an immediate impact. Maybe that difference is just talking to the three of you right now about what I've done, what I'm trying to create. That not only informs you, but then informs everybody that you kind of touch. And so that, in its own way, has been the game changer for me. This has not been easy, and just like you guys know, anything easy is not worth doing, really. And it's been scary. But the fact that we're figuring out ways to clean beaches and landfills, to inform the younger generations, to make it a more sustainable market, I think that's what drives everybody that's in the space, and that I think that would drive you guys as well. I think, right? I mean,
Yeah.
well, you guys. The question right back at you: Why are you guys doing this? I mean, right?
When do you guys want to take that?
I mean, we've all surfed our whole lives.
Right.
And so we care a ton about the ocean.
Sure.
And then
And that appreciation for it. Yeah.
and just seeing that like it's getting screwed up with plastics and
Yep.
environmental change. And then also my mom created a company that was like aimed at helping the environment
Yeah.
when we were all little. So that was like, at least for me, I think that was like a big push to like go into this.
Like a big inspiration.
Mhm.
Yeah. And instead of just like swimming amongst or surfing amongst the trash, you're being proactive about how to make that difference. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So I think it's mostly, for me at least, just seeing it firsthand and seeing people who don't really care about it, trying to like get them to realize that it actually is going on.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge. What about you, Liz?
Yeah, so similar to what he said, I think most people care about the ocean. Like, obviously, if you go up to someone, do you care about the ocean? Most people are going to say yes.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's a very small percentage that will say, no, I don't give a shit about the ocean.
Yeah, that's true.
But
yeah,
is it to the point where they're going to buy these glasses, which are more expensive, but then a less expensive pair that is not as good, or buy a Banks Journal shirt that is maybe more sustainable than a crappy t-shirt?
Right.
And I think there's a lot of those people. They care about the ocean, and they love going in it, and they love traveling to Hawaii.
Yeah.
And when they see trash there, they may be a little disappointed, but they don't think their actions are causing that trash to be in the water. And we're all guilty of that.
Right, sure.
To some degree or another.
Yeah.
Some people are super focused on not using any plastic. I know I can be better about that, because there's things that I can do, but I think a lot of people don't have that, like, even thought that they're causing anything to be in the ocean,
Right.
and just realizing that is a huge step for a lot of people.
Right.
And I even remember when we were all in the house that we are staying at right now in Santa Barbara, we saw this seal coming out of the water that was wrapped in fishing line.
Just now?
No,
Just a
not
couple of days?
not this trip.
Wow, jeez.
I don't know, I think a year ago.
Yeah.
There's some of our friends from Tahoe, actually, who are big environmentalists also,
Yeah.
who care a lot about the snow and the ocean.
Yeah.
And they're teaching their kids that also. And we saw
Yeah.
this seal coming out of the water.
Yeah.
And we don't normally see them on the beach.
Yeah.
So we all stopped and we're kind of watching, and it was completely wrapped in fishing line, we noticed, and it was cut open. You could see its
Jesus.
flesh. Like,
Because it was wrapped so tightly
It was
that
wrapped
was
so, and it's
ripping the
swimming
skin.
that the fishing line is pulling through, and it has pretty tough skin. It was
Right.
pulling into its skin,
Yeah.
and we knew that it was, I think it's illegal to approach animals like that,
Yeah.
but without human help that
Right,
it
right.
was dead, and it was like juvenile seal.
Sure.
It wasn't like
Yeah.
big. We approached it and we put its head on the ground with a towel with some other surfers that were on the beach and people from their houses, because we had to get scissors and cut it off.
Cut it off, yeah.
We let it go, not knowing that it would survive, because it was flesh was open, but
Yeah.
it's always worth the shot.
Yeah.
Then I think seeing that really changed, like, that is happening more than I think most people know, and there's so much worse stuff that is
Yeah.
happening than a lot of people
Well, it's
know.
just because it's not happening to people and people aren't seeing it
Yeah.
in person doesn't mean it's not happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are really blessed that, or not blessed, but like you saw this. This is like it's ingrained in your heads, right? This is the reality of the situation.
Yeah. So like, what did the design process like? Did you design them or?
Yeah, it's a good question. I've always kind of been into fashion, and always been into sunglasses. So I knew in my head kind of what I wanted to do, but I also had to think about like what people wanted, right? Because typically, we have an oversized cat eye here that I wouldn't really typically wear, but it's becoming a big thing in the surf community. Even guys are wearing the cat eye. So I wanted to come up with something that it would be more unisex, where a female would feel comfortable, but a male could like rock as well on the beach. But a lot of these designs come out of inspiration from other companies that I really love and appreciate. One of them being Rain, and I think they've done a great job in their designs. And I do have a product designer on my team, so I kind of come up with the concept. We drill it out on, we make vector drawings on Adobe and everything like that, and we go through that process with our development team in Asia. And so and then I want to say, and it's going to be said on the website, is the only thing that's not sustainable about these sunglasses is the lenses themselves and the screws and the hinges. But everything else is recyclable or was recyclable with the product.
Wait, so for those biodegradable glasses,
Yeah.
would the lenses biodegrade too? or
No, so that's the thing. So that's one thing that you would have to make sure. I mean, you would have to accommodate the decomposition by taking out the lenses and taking off the hinges. In my opinion, we invested in a little bit more money to get the best lenses as possible, because we wanted to make sure that they were long lasting, because if they scratch too easily or they break too easily, the sunglasses are shot. Right? But we are down the road, once the company's up and running, we really want to invest in other technologies that are more sustainable for the lenses. Like, you can use recyclable glass. That could be something, and there's other really cool technology that we're just kind of working through now to figure out like a holistic product for sure.